Miss Imelda, nice to see you and thank you for having this fine party with the theme, "What is happiness?" As I understand, there were 7 steps to happiness.
Yes, Cedric, I'm glad to see that so many will be coming. You know, Cedric, interestingly enough, my initial interest in happiness started with trying to find what minimum conditions would have to be met to get the caveman into the 21st century. What few changes would completely change his life and that of his family. I found that 3 things would do the trick. They would be: number 1, a safe place to sleep with modern heating, plumbing and refrigeration; number 2, a constant dependable food supply; and number 3, some form of healthcare. Many of our ancestors died due to either rotting teeth, which made eating quite difficult, or they died from deadly dental infections. It is said that 20 more years could have been added to their lives by having minimum dental care.
Very interesting, I did not realize that. Please go on.
Yes, from there I set out to find what the elements were for all of us to seek happiness. There is a saying, "Happiness is like a butterfly. Chase it and you never catch it, but sit quietly and it will land on your shoulder." With that in mind, I continued my quest. The 4th condition is to seek out supportive friends and to avoid those that are not supportive. This can be quite difficult at times. But what is vital here is that if you find someone unsupportive, it is extremely necessary that you part company in the most diplomatic way. Always remembering that in the future you may see that person in a different light. Departing company with harsh words may for the very short term seem satisfying, but in the long run only makes life more difficult. Also, it must be remembered that it is not just you that needs support, you must also try to be supportive of others. Cedric, we all at one time or another need help of a good friend. Number 5 is to develop to the best of our abilities whatever skills that we have so that we can be as productive of an individual that we can be. It is important here to not get too caught up in competition. Over-competitiveness can make us quite selfish and self-centered and trapped in a world of excessive material things. Also get to know and accept your own limitations. Perfect the skills you have. Don't let others push you too far too fast. Just do your best and encourage others to do the same. Skills are good ways to connect with others. When you meet someone, don't spend so much time on who they are but how they do what they do. Sharing skills and little discoveries as to how we do things is another way to connect and can be quite satisfying. Number 6 is to develop some kind of relationship with the cosmos. Whether it be in religious form or whatever it is that makes you feel that you're part of this vast universe. Something that makes you aware that you are part of something that is larger than yourself and join with others in any way that is satisfying to accomplish this. It is important, however, that we also develop our reasoning capacities through what is called the art of critical thinking. This ability helps us to question our beliefs not just with regard to religion but also with regard to politics, economics and all that as part of our lives. Those that develop the art of critical thinking are slow to render judgments and are less prone to being offended when others question their thought processes, and furthermore are much less prone to being fooled by the deceitful that plague this world. The number 7 and final step to happiness is to develop gratitude for all that we have and are capable of doing. Gratitude by many is considered to be the most important piece of the happiness puzzle. Gratitude helps us to keep that optimistic spirit that tells us that the glass is not half empty but instead half full. Cedric, part of gratitude, I might add, is what I call the willingness to accept our life story. That is, to accept the bad things that have happened to us as a child or as an adult, and to forgive our parents or friends for whatever they may have done. Lost opportunity is another example of this. We must instead move on and find other opportunities and help others do the same. So these 7 steps pretty much sum it up for my quest for understanding the elements of happiness. In the 1960s, a fine young vocalist named Tony Bennett sang the popular song, "If I Ruled the World." There were 2 lines at the very end of that song that express the feeling of happiness and how we should try to share it with others. It goes, "Every head would be held up high," and he goes on, "There'll be sunshine in everyone's sky." Yes, sunshine in everyone's sky. That's the spirit of happiness.
Well, thank you so much for that run through your 7 steps of happiness. I see that others are starting to come in now. I hope they enjoy your presentation as much as I did.
Thank you so much, Cedric. My pleasure.